You're listening to a special edition of the JustGoBike Podcast. That's AKA Murph.
And that's AP. And this is the podcast where we talk about cycling just for the fun of it. With tales from all across the nation, come for the bikes, stay for the fun, and leave with a smile.
On this special edition, we are going to provide you with daily tales from the trail as we ride our bikes across the state of Iowa as a part of RAGBRAI LI.
We apologize in advance for any background noise. We'll be live each episode.
Well, hello, listeners, and hello, Murph.
Hello and hello. Do we sound tired?
Well, I am.
Well, listeners, we have completed day one of the RAGBRAI inspection ride, and it was, 40, I think all the way to our hotel, it was about 44 miles, but I feel like I did a century ride today.
I know. Yeah, the official mileage is 41.9 miles, but according to Ride with GPS, I got 43.6. So somewhere just over 40.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we both were almost... Well, I'm at 2592 as far as elevation, and you're pretty close, right?
I'm at 2,454 feet of climb, which is just a smidge over the official that we had before. But that's why we do the route inspection, to just dial that in.
Yes. And we are all using Wahoo bike computers.
Yeah.
Today kind of was our first day of using them. So there's all kinds. I mean, I was so impressed with the features. Once I got my heart rate monitor to sync with it, I was spending half my day watching my heart rate, which I don't even know why, but I just was. But there were so many features. I do think that one of the fun features, maybe it isn't fun for every listener, but the fact that it would tell us what hill we were on out of how many hills for the whole day.
That's my favorite feature. And I'll tell you, I used to be someone who didn't even ride with a bike computer, but now I don't know if I could ride without it.
Yeah.
It's really fun. And I mean that. And I believe I said it last year when I got a Wahoo computer. So, hashtag I was not sponsored at that time. But I really love counting down the hills, especially on a really hilly day like today.
Yeah.
Just kind of to know where I'm at in the game.
Yep.
Today, according to the computer, we had 22 hills.
Yes. And I would probably have counted maybe an additional 3. I don't know how Wahoo decides what's considered a climb or not in the computer, because I think these extra 3, in my opinion, weren't super, super steep, but I felt like they were still hills.
Yeah, they weren't negligible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were, so it was really fun to track ourselves that way. And also just sort of see how we ranked in the pre-ride leaderboard that we have. And you can find that on our blog post that we have running from every day. We have that pre-stocked in there, so you can follow myself, you can follow Murphology, you can follow several other people on our teams if you'd like to see exactly how we ride. And I will tell you, I was one of the slowest riders today.
But I will tell you, I am leading the leaderboard. But I think it's more because I'm just going to be honest, I forgot to turn off my bike computer when we got to the hotel, and so I don't know if I don't know what happened, but anyway, I lead the leaderboard. So
congratulations.
Boom.
Better take a screenshot. One thing I thought was interesting, that our journey today took us a total of just over 16 hours, but the actual moving time on the bike was about 3.5 hours.
Yep, that's what I have too.
So it was just kind of interesting to see. Obviously, we want to spend the whole day out on the route and in Red Oak and just enjoying the towns, but to also compare that to how long it took me to just ride the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
one thing that I noted when, because we were using the Wahoo computers, when they tell you there's going to be a climb, it literally on your screen says climb, and then you have to climb. But on mine, at least, I don't know if everyone had the setup the same, but it would tell me how long until I reached the top. So I'm guessing either it had already adjusted to what my average speed was. I'm not really sure how it worked, but this may come as a comfort to listeners, but almost all of those hills were like 2 minutes or less of climbing. Yeah. And of course, your ability will make you faster or slower than we are, but just to know that it wasn't like 3 hours of climbing. It was literally I think there were a couple of hills that were maybe 5 or 6 minutes, but most of them were 2 minutes or less.
The Redwood GPS app does tell you how long you spent climbing throughout the
Really?
day. So I don't know if you want to know that,
Oh,
but
gosh,
it does
yeah.
tell you. Maybe we'll bring that in on one of the hillier days after this, but it's kind of cool. And I definitely, a couple times today, I looked down at the computer and was comforted to see that there was only an estimated 1 minute left to climb. And I'm like, I could do 1 minute of anything.
Yeah, I can do 1 minute, yeah. And at least both of AP and I have live links. So when our computers are active and we're active, there are live links. And maybe we'll put it in the show notes, but for sure it is posted somewhere in the socials.
Yes, that is the link I was talking about that's in the blog. So you can check it out in the blog on RAGBRAI.com. Or if you're on our email list, you can, you'll probably have already received an email with the live log links in it. If you'd like to receive the email and you're not on the list, then go to the RAGBRAI.com blog and scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there's a little place there that you can sign up.
Okay, cool. Well, should we go quickly through like the communities that we went through today?
Yeah, and I think before we finish this, like the part where we talk about how the ride was, we have to acknowledge that we had a lot of rain today.
Yes.
It was a difficult day in that way.
Yes.
However, it wasn't really that bad because it was warm.
Yeah.
So we never really got too chilled on the bike, but I think it's a good time to talk about being sure that you're safe in the rain and that you're comfortable riding in the rain, because anything can happen out there on the route.
Mm-hmm. And like we both commented that when the rain was like we could physically feel it hitting our face. Like it was really raining hard.
Yeah. And just because it's raining, you don't melt. You're going to need to keep riding. It's RAGBRAI. That's part of the fun, is part of the adventure.
Yeah.
So if you've never ridden in the rain before, don't have any experience with that, you might do a training ride when it rains and where you live next time.
Yep. Yeah. I never felt like I didn't want to be out there riding.
Yeah, same.
And I didn't really feel miserable at any time, but it's just kind of like it puts another stress on the day.
Well, it's a different type of riding, and you just need to be careful as you're doing it, as far as being slow when you go down the hills, and just ensuring that you are even more careful to call out your intentions as far as exiting the road or moving over, or being super careful not to swerve.
Yeah.
Just because everything's slippery and your reaction times are different in the rain. So I just wanted to mention that before we get into anything.
Yes. And definitely, some of the climbs were followed by some pretty good descents. Like, I know I looked down, I never took my hands off the handlebars, but when you would look down at your computer, I could see, 28 miles an hour, 29 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got faster, because once I felt faster, I just kept my eyes on the road. But, and with wet pavement, that definitely, changes the dynamics of how you ride.
Ride with GPS will tell you if you did get faster than 28 miles per hour. But anyway, I digress. So let's jump into the towns. Today we started in Glenwood, Iowa.
Yes.
And their theme is "Let's Get It Started, Hill, Yeah."
And how does less is spelled?
It is spelled LOESS, and it stands for the Luss Hills, which is a major geographical formation out here on this west side of Iowa. If you've ridden RAGBRAI before, you're super familiar with it, and you maybe have even heard about it on this podcast, where it is a glacial deposit that happened thousands of years ago, maybe millions of years ago, a long time ago in the Ice Age. And it is where all the glaciers stopped moving and melted.
Nice.
And they left a lot of sediment here. And it is a curious type of soil out here.
Somebody said that yesterday, that they actually felt like it was sticky.
Yeah, it's sort of sticky. It's a lot of very fine sediment that is accumulated here. But it's a beautiful country because of the hills. And it is great farmland. So
cool.
There you go. So we started off in Glenwood, and Glenwood is an awesome place to start. We started in their beautiful town square. And there's a Freedom Rock there.
They were ready for us too.
Yeah, they were ready.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the people were ready for us too. And we love coming to Glenwood. It's going to be an awesome place to start after we kick it off with the expo.
Yeah, and for sure, as we get closer to RAGBRAI, of course, we're going to be doing episodes where we interview actual townspeople. There's all kinds of factors that are happening this week with, nailing down the whole expo experience and nailing down, the camping and all of that stuff. So we're not ready to be like, this is what's happening. But the crew that is like the volunteers that are part of it they're shining.
Yeah, they're amazing. And if you'd like to be up to date at the latest Glenwood information, I would follow them on Facebook. They have a great Facebook page. So,
Yep.
All right, so we rolled on out of Glenwood into Silver City.
Mm-hmm. And it was, if I remember right, of course I don't have my computer open, but it was around 9 miles, maybe 8.
Yeah, it was a nice little jaunt. I don't have it written down either, but it wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't super far. It'd be a great little stretch to get under your belt before breakfast.
Yes. And I did find out that Chris Cakes will be there in Silver City waiting for you. Plus the American Legion is going to have not only an amazing breakfast, but also alcohol. So if you're a Bloody Mary in the morning kind of person, they'll be ready for you.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about this. And what they had waiting for us, hot coffee, which was extremely welcome after a rainy bike ride.
So on a side note, listeners, you should look at, I don't know if it's an Instagram story, a reel, or a post, but AP did a little video of her drinking coffee. And if you look at it, AP, your lips are purple. You were cold.
Yeah, I know. Well, once we came inside out of the rain, it was we weren't working out. It was very cold. But,
I know.
Anyway, the coffee warmed me right up, so we're all good.
Yeah,
but
we're all good.
In Silver City, the theme is where this is home. So that was cool. It was, I mean, certainly I felt at home. They gave me so much coffee. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Silver City just hosted the Iowa Gravel Series, a race from them, and they have a bike shop there called Silver City Bike and Happy Trails Cycle.
Excellent.
So they really love cyclists there. They know how to treat us. They know what we would hope would be there, and they'll provide.
Yeah. And there's also, of course, it wasn't open because we were there extremely early in the morning, but there's a bar called the Silver Spokes Bar. So they're very bicycle themed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from Silver City, we rolled on into Henderson, which is our meeting town for the day.
And I noted that over half of the hills were done at this point.
Yeah.
So when you make it to Henderson, you know you are over half done with your elevation.
And the last time we have been to Henderson was 2009.
Oh, wow.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things.
And there was, this is an interesting, I don't even know how to describe this, AP, help me out. But you know how when you're in a car driving and like there's little bumps every like 20 feet or something? Like it's not potholes, it's not cracks. It's just like I don't know what they're called.
I don't know what they're called either, but they were little bumps.
They were intense.
Yeah.
It was very short, but it was maybe about 3 miles before Henderson. So I guess when you guys are all out there biking and all of a sudden you're like, bump, 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 like you're bumping every 20 feet, then you know you're getting close to Henderson.
That's right. And it won't last very long. So
no, and it wasn't dangerous at all. It was just kind of like, I'm awake.
Yeah. Once we got to Henderson, they welcomed us to the city hall, and we had a delicious lunch.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you to them for welcoming us. And they had little tea towels for us to dry off with.
I know.
It was so awesome. So welcome. Once again, I warmed up. And actually, while we were there for lunch, it stopped raining. So
yes.
Yeah. So it was really nice.
It was good. So from Henderson, we cruised on into Emerson and hung out. Actually, it's the same park that we saw the solar eclipse, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. When we were cruising across the state in a vehicle with Matt and Ann.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But there is a huge Freedom Rock there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. It's a beautiful park. I'm sure they'll have all sorts of stuff for you there on RAGBRAI. Emerson is named after Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Oh.
And the quote that inspired them to name it after him is, "Build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door."
Huh.
So,
all right.
Yeah, so I love that. I love Emerson. It was a great place to stop. And then from there, it was only a short jaunt into Red Oak.
Yeah. Yes. Red Oak. We also hung out at a park there for a while, which there is a beautiful Freedom Rock. And I was talking to Dixon Novi, who's one of our riders, who is either from or grew up in Greenfield, which we'll be talking about later in the week. But he said that the man who paints all of the Freedom Rocks, I believe his name is Bubba something. We'll find out more on Wednesday. But he is also from the Greenfield area. But he paints all of them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, all 99
wow.
of them.
I know. Those Freedom Rocks are so cool.
They're so cool.
I mean, they're hard to miss.
Yeah.
And they're each different, and it's just neat to kind of collect them all as far as seeing as many as you can.
Right. Also in Red Oak, we did stumble into, I believe it's called Williams Bar in Red Oak. And that was a blast. Like all of the local residents who were also enjoying a beverage in the afternoon, like they embraced us.
Yeah, it was awesome. And Williams is a billiards bar, and my family really loves to play pool. So like it was a cool time for me. I just want to back it up real quick and say, as you approach Red Oak's theme is pedal to the pumpkin.
Okay.
And as you exit Emerson and get closer to Red Oak, you can literally see, it looks like there's a pumpkin sitting on the top of a hill from like 5 miles away.
Yeah.
And it's their water tower. It's their bright orange water tower. It is so cool.
And I will warn you as a rider that when you see the pumpkin, the water tower, you still have a ways to go.
It's still about 5 or 6 miles away. Yeah, but it is neat, and it's a cool optical illusion.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out. But Red Oak, they get their name from Red Oak Creek, which is a creek that goes through their community, and it's obviously noted for the red oaks on its bank.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I would say this is just me personally, but like the two things that I get excited about when I'm coming towards a town, one is the water tower, and two are the signs that say reduced speed ahead. When I see either of those, it like gets me motivated to keep going.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
So, we're excited to come into Red Oak. They have all sorts of stuff planned for you. Their city square is even larger than any of the others we've seen so far. And it is really, really awesome. It has a beautiful fountain in the middle. It's going to be a great place to gather once you're done riding this day.
I agree.
Yeah. And I heard someone from the town, overheard them say that they're going to have bands starting at noon.
Whoa.
So they've cranked up the entertainment, and they're going to be ready for us.
All right. So then, I guess if you're, getting up early and hitting the road, as Matt suggested in our podcast yesterday, then it will take no time at all. You can explore all of these great communities and still make it into Red Oak for all the fun entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a wrap for today. I would love to say that we're going to sign off and go to bed, but no, we're not.
We're going to sign off and go to dinner. Even better.
We're going to go eat.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks, listeners, for tuning in, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Well, I can't wait to fill you in on day 2 of the RAGBRAI Route Inspection Pre-Ride.
Well, listeners, that's it for today. We both want to thank you for tuning in to listen to this special edition of the JustGoBike Podcast.
And if you would like to contact us with a comment about the podcast, or maybe you have a topic in mind, you can reach us at JustGoBike on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
You can also find us this year on Ride with GPS.
That's right. We'll be live logging the entire route inspection pre-ride with our Wahoo bike computers, then sending the data over to Ride with GPS, and you can find us online.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, especially if you're a fan.
All right, that's a wrap, and we'll be back soon. Until then, just go bike!